Good morning, students. Today we will discuss continuous operators. So let us take an operator T which not necessarily be linear operator, and this operator is defined on dt. dt is domain of T into y. Here this dt, that is a subset of x, and x and y are norm spaces. We say that the operator T is continuous at a point x naught of dt if for given epsilon greater than 0 there exists a positive number delta such that whenever the distance between x and x naught is less than delta, the distance between their images, that is very small, means that is less than epsilon. So here in the norm spaces, the distance between x and x naught, that is denoted by norm of x minus x naught, and the distance between the images, that is denoted by norm of tx minus norm of minus t of x naught. So we can say that whenever norm of x minus x naught is less than delta, then the norm of tx minus tx naught, that is less than epsilon. Here tx denotes image of x under t, and t of x naught, that is the image of x naught under t. So if this condition is satisfied, we say that the operator T is continuous at the point x naught, and in general this operator T is said to be continuous if it is continuous at every point of the domain. Now next, there is a theorem based on continuous operators. Let T be a linear operator from dt into y. Here this dt, that is a subset of the norm space x. Y is also a norm space. Then we have to prove that T is continuous if and only if T is bounded. And in the second part, we prove that T is continuous at a single point, then T is continuous. So let us first prove the first part. In the first part, first of all, let us take T is bounded operator, and we prove that T is continuous. So if T is 0 operator, then T is continuous, that is trivial. So let us prove the result for T not equal to 0. So if T is not 0 operator, in that case the norm of T, that is not equal to 0. Now let us take a point x naught belonging to the domain of T, and epsilon greater than 0 be given. Now let us take for every x belonging to domain of T, norm of x minus x naught is less than delta, where we have taken delta as epsilon upon T norm. Now let us find the norm of Tx minus Tx naught. Now because T is linear operator, so Tx minus Tx naught, that can be written as T of x minus x naught. Now because we are given T is bounded linear operator, so by definition of bounded, norm of Tx is less than or equal to T norm into x norm. So using the definition of boundedness, norm of Tx minus Tx naught, that is less than or equal to norm of T into norm of x minus x naught. Now norm of x minus x naught, that is less than delta, and delta is epsilon upon T norm. So substituting the value here, we get norm of Tx minus Tx naught is less than epsilon. So whenever x minus x naught norm is less than delta, norm of Tx minus Tx naught is less than epsilon. So by definition, we can say that T is continuous at the point x naught, and because x naught is arbitrary point of the domain, so we can say that T is continuous at every point of the domain. Now conversely, we are given that the operator T is continuous, and we prove that T is bounded operator. Now, because we are given T is continuous, so it is continuous at every point of the domain. So let us take x naught be an arbitrary point of domain of T. Now because T is continuous at x naught, so we can use the definition of continuity. So by definition, for epsilon greater than 0, there exists a positive number delta such that whenever the norm of x minus x naught is less than or equal to delta, the norm of Tx minus Tx naught is less than or equal to epsilon. Now to prove that T is bounded, let us take an arbitrary element y belonging to domain of T such that this element is non-zero, and let us put x is equal to x naught plus delta y divided by y norm. Now let us find the norm of x minus x naught. So from here x minus x naught is given by delta into y divided by y norm. So taking norm on both sides, this will become norm of x minus x naught, and on the right side norm of delta y divided by y norm. Now y norm is cancelled with y norm, so we get norm of x minus x naught is equal to delta. Now we have the condition from the definition of continuity. Whenever the norm of x minus x naught is less than or equal to delta, the norm of Tx minus Tx naught is less than or equal to epsilon. Now because T is linear operator, so Tx minus Tx naught can be written as T of x minus x naught. Now substituting the value of x minus x naught here, the value of x minus x naught is delta y divided by y norm. So we have substituted the value. Now because delta and y norm both are positive quantities and scalars, they can be taken outside the norm by using the property. So that will become delta into y norm into norm of Ty is less than or equal to epsilon. So from here we get norm of Ty is less than or equal to epsilon into y norm divided by delta. So let us take epsilon upon delta as C. So finally this inequality becomes norm of Ty is less than or equal to C times norm of y, and by definition we can say that the operator T is bounded. Now in the second part we are given that the operator T is continuous at a single point, and we are to prove that the operator T is continuous. It means we are to prove that it is continuous at every point of the domain. Now because we are given the function operator T is continuous at a single point, so let us take that point is x naught. So T is continuous at x naught. Now in the first part of this theorem we have proved that if T is continuous then T is bounded. So from above part we can say that T is bounded, and again we can use the converse part. By that part, if an operator is bounded then it is continuous. So we get T is continuous at every point of the domain. Now next there is a corollary based on this theorem. Let T is a bounded linear operator, then we are to prove that if a sequence xn converges to x, then image of xn converges to image of x. It means we are to prove that the bounded linear operators preserve the convergence of a sequence. And in the second part we prove that the null space of the bounded linear operator that is closed. So firstly we prove the bounded linear operator preserve the convergence of the sequence. So let us take the sequence xn converges to x. So by definition of convergence of the sequence in a norm space, we can say that norm of xn minus x approaches to 0 as n approaches to infinity. Now we are to prove that the image of xn converges to image of x. So let us find the norm of txn minus tx. Now because t is linear operator, so by definition of linearity, this can be written as norm of image of xn minus x under t. Now because t is bounded, so by definition of boundedness, that will further be less than or equal to norm of t into norm of xn minus x. Now because xn minus x norm is approaching to 0 as n is approaching to infinity, so we get norm of txn minus tx is approaching to 0 as n approaches to infinity. So by definition of convergence, we can say that t of xn converges to t of x. Now in the next part, we are to prove that the null space of the bounded linear operator that is closed. So in order to prove that NT is closed, we show that its closure is identical with itself. Now because every set is contained in its closure, so NT is contained in NT whole closure. So it remains to prove the converse part. So we are to prove that the closure of NT is contained in NT. NT means null space of T. So let us take an arbitrary element belonging to NT closure. So by definition, X is closure point of the null space NT. So by definition of closure point, we have a sequence, say Xn, in the null space of T such that that sequence converges to X. So we have taken that sequence as the sequence Xn. Now in the first part, we have proved the preservance of convergence. So if xn converges to x, so image of xn converges to image of x. So we can say that t of xn converges to t of x. Now because these xn, they belongs to null space of T for every n belonging to the set of natural numbers. Now because xn belongs to null space of T, by definition, null space consists of all those elements of domain of T whose image under T is 0. So by definition, image of xn under T, that will be 0, and therefore T of x, that should also be 0 because the limit of 0 sequence, that is 0. So we have obtained image of x under T is 0. So by definition, x belongs to null space of T. So we have proved x belongs to NT closure implies that x belongs to NT. So this proves that NT closure is contained in NT. And combining the two equations, we get null space of T is same as its closure. So this proves that the null space of the operator T, that is closed.